ask the mentors and curators, give me information about Jeffrey Epstein, about his soul's mission. Why did it happen this way? Either provide that I've been here a long time. Yeah, I see he left. Thank you. Don't mention it. I didn't come to justify myself or to apologize. Okay. You wanted to know what motivated me to do this, but it's not your to swear. Well, it's interesting how a mix of English and Russian goes. Not yours, like dogmas, conjectures, principles, not your principles. Here are your principles, but that's not the point here. Punishment. Everyone to be punished. What punishment? Why did you decide to take this mission upon yourself? Hey, wait. I haven't finished. It's punishment for a system that torments people. So it turns out to be a strange spiritual task. I don't care how it turned out this way. It's my life, and I regret nothing. I had everything. What do you usually watch in movies? And even more. I wanted to prove that any guy, from any backyard, can achieve anything solely through connections. That the value of education is lost, that you can do without your diplomas, without your documents, and you don't need to get a bunch of certificates. That's made for fools. There's always another secret door. That's exactly what I always thought about. When everyone was looking at the main entrance, I was always looking for that secret door. To climb over the fence. Break in and take mine, but it's not yours, and it's not your money. Money doesn't belong to anyone. Everyone manages it, everyone under different terms and agreements. The agreement is more important than amount. It's not even about the amount. Everyone agrees with each other on how much to transfer to whom, and so the chain never stops. You can see that dollar bill on the other side of the world, and it doesn't belong to anyone, and it belongs to everyone. That's what delighted and amazed me. Just as someone could earn well, they could also lose. I was merely a link. I was merely a balancing link. This circle. I was the wrong link. A false lock. A false lock that opens the entire mechanism. And liked that. I liked managing money flows, people. Do you want to switch to that topic? No, not scary at all. Think for yourself. All those abandoned teenagers would have ended up in bad conditions one way or another. Some in a dive bar, some as homeless, some turning to prostitution. What's the difference? What the hell difference does it make? No, wait, we won't talk like that. Let's switch to being non-judgmental. I'm giving you my opinion. They knew where they were going, they all knew. It's double deceitful morality, each of them knew. This isn't a hospice, it's not a massage parlor. Each one knew what she would be asked to do, and each one knew what fee she would take. If it's not a fee, then it's connections. And you know yourself that connections decide everything. I don't feel guilty. No, stop. Did you forcibly detain them? Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Here I won't hide here. Here I was angry, couldn't control myself, should have let go. But when there's a deal, there's a buyer and a seller. That's it. Topic closed. Question closed. You sell, I buy time, anything, a service, a body, anything, a photograph, a smile. Everything can be bought, and you see that everything is bought. I broke the mechanism, and was there a specific goal set? To gather compromising material in this way? What do you think? Doesn't look like it. Yes, 'cause I didn't know. What could that threaten me with? And that's why there were recordings in every room. Doesn't matter if the guest is a president, a king, a prince, anyone. Well, let's move away from your commercial part. There's also another side, the side of rituals. So that's what you want. That wasn't for everyone. Not everyone requested such a service. You want to say that you were just an organizer of such events, nothing more. You yourself, I see, that you yourself stand and participate in the rituals. Well, someone has to supervise the staff. Listen, it doesn't matter. No, important. It's important because the energy of children's souls, which is manipulated in such a way during rituals, is directed elsewhere. And you know what I'm talking about. Well, say his name. What do you think? I'll get scared. He's here, walking around. Everyone is here. His manipulations, all that temptation in which everyone drowned. Everyone. Well, there was such an order. So what? Well, it also brought you pleasure. I won't hide it. I liked the performance. It's not a performance, it's a ritual. Let's call things by their proper names. What's the difference then? The difference is in the cult. The difference is in the goals and objectives. Let's suppose. Is it true that you used underage migrants for ritual purposes? I'm not under interrogation. Listen, if you want to hold me to an ethical standard, this isn't the place. I'm not interrogating you, I'm just asking for facts. What difference does it make because the essence is the same? Migrant or not, from a poor family, many of their fathers raped them. What difference does it make to them? Judge for yourself. Wait, we've stopped at the rituals with you. That's it, he doesn't want to talk. Spits in my direction, doesn't want to talk. Walking. He's leaving. That's it, I've closed this channel. This is really very strange communication. I'll now look through the Akashic records. Yes, it shows horrible footage. Yes, and children. Some nightmare. And even, I'm sorry, one severed child's finger now. And very well-dressed people are watching. Children in shock. They're as if, either pumped with something like sleeping pills and drugs. There were even drugs. They don't remember or feel anything, so they were just pumped full for several days in order to do these terrible things. Really a lot of famous people. Yes, satanic symbolism is absolutely present. A lot of fire used, cutting, piercing tools. Everything is quite disgusting. I won't even describe it. They're telling me now. Well, you wanted it. Look. What mission did this strange soul have? You are not a strange soul. This is a provocation of the system, which was needed at a specifically taken interval of time to break stereotypes, to show how much everything is bought and sold, and those who write the laws violate them themselves, and those who print money make its purpose fake and devalue it themselves. But what brought these people back a second time? I understand, let's say the first time, possibly, let's assume the presumption of innocence. Possibly they didn't know and didn't understand the full depth of this whole terrible situation. But the second time, the third time, when they come, it means they knowingly understand what they are getting into, and that underage children will be used. Yes, they understand. That's what attracted them. It was like a forbidden fruit, like a risk. It seemed to them that they were arbiters of something impossible, of someone's fates. It was precisely for these purposes that Epstein's separately standing structure was organized, including telecommunications, the internet, everything separate. The island, the land, the planes, transport arranged so that a person couldn't be noticed by others. Why was this information revealed to us now? To destabilize American politicians, first of all, to destabilize the currency. If we're talking from a social point of view, if we're talking from an anthropological and mystical point of view, then it was necessary to reveal the meanings and to show that any rulers, businessmen, who have access to the resources of power and money are prone to similar actions, some in the name of pleasure, some in the name of ritual, and each time it happens depending on the level. For such a person, it's a big test, which many souls failed, a provocation and temptation in order to remove masks so that you, the judges, would see who, so that laws would be revised to draw attention to migration policy, which makes hundreds of thousands of underage children unhappy, and they are born not for that, to continue the family line. They are born so that their parents get more benefits, and then they spend their lives poorly and unhappily in slums and ghettos of disadvantaged areas. This was done to draw attention to the research activities of biological institutes in growing embryos in artificial conditions, because the sponsors of such research can be people pursuing the same goals as Epstein, to grow a farm of sexual slaves. That's why they are attracted and cast a shadow on the scientific component. Epstein did not act independently. There was a channel of chaos and boundless power of reincarnations, transformations in order to blur the unshakable and inviolable standard, the standard of the authority of authorities. And to rebuild worlds, he was simply a syringe with both an antidote and poison simultaneously. It's a complex mission, he himself suffers from it, but in essence he partly fulfilled it. Yes, he violated a lot in his game of flirtations, but the acting skill of the performer here won. Many masks have been removed, and everyone's hands are covered in the blood of lost children. It's a pity. How many of these children? 5 people disappeared without a trace. These are some troubled teenagers from shelters, some children of migrants, with whom an agreement was signed and they sold their children. He had a whole network of so-called suppliers. Society considers this only through the prism, if of compromising material on political leaders, then this experience will bring nothing useful. This experience must be considered from the point of view of changing your laws on protecting children, teenagers, on migration policy, on revising growing embryos, on the ethics of medical research, which should not be sponsored by third-party commercial organizations. A second topic concerning financial control was also touched upon here, which will now be tightened and checked. Everything will be transferred to digital media, and these cash payments through which Epstein lived, they must also be abolished. This was also a kind of signal. It was also a signal to those types of activities, which a person still continues now, understanding and realizing all the stupidity. You put animals on display in a zoo and women and girls in modeling agencies, as in the same zoo. You also, these bodies, but you sell them to the public, you sell them to thousands of other glances. In essence, it's the other side of the same coin, and it must be fundamentally revised, and such a business has no future. None of the alien races comes out and shows its advantage in a body. Almost everyone has the same one, with the same set of standard functions, and to make a monument out of it and sell it, that's like the Stone Age. For you should become the same for acting. If you noticed, he manipulated those dreams, which the girls had, to be on screens, to walk beautiful on screen, to appear on TV, to appear in movies. And this type of activity is inhumane. Well, but that's also art. Wait, what about theater? No, it's not art. You don't make art out of it, you make an apparatus of bodies out of it. And then the actors themselves become hostages of these criteria, when they get plastic surgery, and when they reshape and reconstruct their bodies to fit some strange standards. Therefore, if we go further, the conclusion from these stories is much sadder, much more complex. Did he voluntarily leave life, Epstein? No. No, there was an attempted murder planned because everyone understood what stories he could give and what files he could open. Yes, the files opened without him. Perhaps there would have been other material there, of serious figures. And who are the customers? They're showing me the United Kingdom. There were many people against. Was he a Satanist and an adept of any cult? Yes, several. And how could he combine that? He was a performer, he could combine everything, both Masons and Judaism and Satanism. Everything was intertwined and coexisted in this man, because it was important for him to be accepted by everyone who has influence, and therefore he changed that too, like masks. Accordingly, everyone considered him a person of their blood, their circle. Yes, thank you.